Welcome to the Successful Real Estate Broker Podcast, where we learn about some success stories and some not so successful stories. But either way, we learn. Each episode, we talk with successful real estate agents and vendors about things they have done to make them successful and some things they did that you might want to avoid. Join us for each episode of the Successful Real Estate Broker Podcast with your host, Preston Sandlin.
Hey, Marissa, my hand's disappearing. I'm trying to wave.
Oh, I was looking at doing backgrounds and I'm like, I don't know about all that.
I try to change them up to make it funny, since I can't do the crazy pants anymore. Maybe I can do crazy backgrounds, but sometimes I lose them halfway through the thing and you can see like my laundry and stuff.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll sit in my house where it looks relatively good behind me.
Well, it looks great. It looks great. The volume's way down here. I may be yelling at you. Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Oh, yeah. You sound great now. I had the volume way down. We're actually at the beach right now, and we got the whole house full, and I'm sequestered in a little room. I got like one bar on the Wi-Fi. I'm like, please.
You're like, please.
But we have a new baby. My wife's sister had a child, and what's so great is this is the first time that Grammy has got to see her, because I don't know if you know this, but she had a liver transplant way back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's highly, like this COVID
compromise almost.
Exactly. So we all had a COVID test before we came. And, we're all wearing masks and everything, but it's great. It's great. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bore you.
No, I love it. It's nice that everybody's finally being able to get back together.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's just the only problem is we got a house full of people, and I'm like, I'm trying to find a spot where I can do this.
I'm trying to do a podcast. You're like, give me like 45 minutes.
There you go. Exactly. Well, thank you for doing this. Are you okay? And if you say no, it's fine. I forgot to ask you. Can we put it on Facebook Live as well?
Yeah, of course.
All right. Well, it'll take me just a second to get that up and going. I'll work on that before we officially start. So how you doing?
Good. Just kind of getting back into the swing of things.
Yeah.
After COVID, figuring out where I stand on that, if I want to go back to the office and whatnot.
Sure. Now, are you still doing the coaching and stuff?
Yeah, so coaching is what I do primarily now.
Now, and forgive me, are you still with Keller Williams? I mean, we're not live yet.
No, it's fine. Costello.
Costello. Okay, that's right.
Yeah, so I sold Lodestone to Allison Alston, who's an agent on the team. So I stay kind of involved with that, with like coaching the agents on it.
Right.
It's like coaching and the iAgent stuff with the funds and title and some other stuff.
Now, are you still doing the title stuff too, or no?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Now, are you doing that with Tom? I was thinking, I apologize for me not being up on it as much as I should be.
Yeah, so Tom does not do iAgent with me anymore, but we still do title.
Okay. Yeah, and we can talk about that a little bit if you want to. I mean, I want you to plug it a little bit.
Yeah, I think I'd rather talk about coaching though, like coaching sales.
Okay. Cool. And I know you're extremely busy, so I appreciate. Is Marissa? That's two S's. I'm putting it on.
Yeah, Marissa.
Okay, I'm the worst speller.
Fine.
I just hate to get it wrong. Just 1 second, I'll get us up on live here, and then I'll introduce you and that sort of thing. And obviously, let's see, here we go. I think it's live. You never know with technology. And again, I'm hanging in here with one bar, so.
I feel like life takes a minute to pick up too.
Yeah. I think we might be live. And then when I go back and look, it's always like I was live 5 minutes before I thought I was live.
Staring at the computer, trying to figure out if it's working.
Yeah, I think we're live now. Let me go back to the thing here. All right. Well, listeners, yeah, I think we're live.
We made it.
And like I say, every time I think I'm live, I go back and it's like we were live like 5 minutes before I thought we were live. But all the folks out there in Facebook land and successful real estate broker podcast land, I have a special treat for you guys. one of my favorite realtors, and we love this woman, Marissa Boyle. How you doing this morning, Marissa?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, good. Well, Marissa, a lot of people in Charlotte know who you are, but hopefully I'm going to get listeners on this podcast all around. And
yep.
So give us a little background if somebody didn't know who you were.
Yeah, sure. So I got into real estate during the recession. I used to be a hedge fund analyst. So if you guys remember the recession, it was like stock market's tanking, housing's tanking, people are losing jobs, and my job was in the stock market. So I'm like, oh boy, better kind of make a new consideration. So long story short, I was in Santa Barbara in California, and one of the hedge fund managers was like, hey, have you ever thought about investing in real estate? And I go, yeah, sure, why not? My dad, my uncles do it, why not? And he's like, what about in Charlotte, North Carolina? And I was like, I can't even point that out on a map. I think it's like over here. But anyway, so 3 weeks later, I ended up moving here, went to Bill Gallagher's class, got my license in like a month and a half. And from there, we kind of ended up building that portfolio to 2,500 homes under management, 5 different states, sold it to a REIT. That's where I met you, because you got to do all those inspections. Some were clean and nice. I think there's some that I think we'd both like to forget.
Hey, that's all right.
Yeah. So that's how I got started doing investment properties. And then I started flipping houses, and then started a small boutique brokerage called Lodestone Real Estate. And that got, built up to about 50 million in annual sales. And I sold it to one of the agents, and on and on. More investments, more anything and everything real estate. I love it.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to fill in some gaps on there. She's a rock star for anybody who doesn't know, and she coaches other agents to be successful, and she is very successful. And I realize now, I knew you, but I always do a little background on, and I was like, she's majored in math and statistics or something. I'm like, oh. I mean, the only reason I said that was like, oh my gosh, that's like my weakest thing, like I dreaded that class.
Yeah. It's actually kind of fun, because it's like with the type of math and stats I did, it's all like pattern recognition. And I feel like you do that in business.
Well, that makes sense that like you did the hedge fund analyst and real estate. I mean, there's trends to spot, and my stepdad was big into. He wasn't a very successful stockbroker, but he studied it.
He liked it.
Yeah, and the like different patterns, like head and shoulders or something, like when it did this, getting ready to do that or something, but we were always a little too late.
He was trying. He was giving it a valiant effort.
You can always recognize it after the fact.
Yeah. I will say though, what I bartended and like waitressed in college, I think that was where I learned most of the like real estate skills, as far as like interacting with people.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And not to bore people too much, but I didn't realize I guess you worked in Santa Barbara. We went there once when we did California, 10 days in California, and we spent a day or two in Santa Barbara. And that was beautiful. That got right there by the bay, and well, not bay, but the water, and went out on the pier and everything. That was a cool place.
Yeah, it's a really pretty city.
Yeah, and very like a lot of the houses and stuff are like, I guess they're from the Victorian period architecture or something. I don't know, some kind of cool architecture.
Lots of Spanish style roofs.
There you go. Well, let's get into it, Marissa. The first question is, and I have a feeling I know your answer, but I'll let you explain. Coaching, real estate agents getting into this. Well, first of all, how do you feel about coaching? I'm sure.
Love it. I have multiple coaches. I am a coach. I have coaches.
Yeah, exactly. And even the best in any business, if you think about it, like Tiger Woods, Serena Williams, they still have a coach. How do you think coaching benefits real estate agents? And if a real estate agent was considering coaching, what would you tell them?
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head with like the professional athletes. They're top 1% of the 1% of the 1%, and they don't get there and go, oh, I'm so great, I don't need a coach.
Right.
So it's just that third party kind of tell me where you're headed, where you want to go, and just I call it like bumper lanes, right? If you think about bowling, all coaching to me is like, where are we going based on what you've told me, and then let's make sure that we stay on pace to get there.
Yeah, did the ball
within a time period that you want to get there in.
Yeah, and they probably can. I hate the word hack, but that's used all the time. Hack. I don't like that word, but cut off some of your learning curve, or
it's just like it's accelerating the learning curve, right? And I will say, like, that first year in real estate, it's like you get beat up, right? It's like you get your teeth kicked in, and if you can keep kind of getting up, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
But it's like you think about that first year and it's like, okay, so how long do you need to learn how to log into your contract system, fill them out, log into MLS, do a CMA? So it's like all this, I call it one-time learning that just like, I think that's what makes that first year really tough, because not only are you trying to get clients and sell, you're also doing all these things that just become muscle memory to you at year 3 and beyond.
And then you've got to, once you be out, everybody, what is it? I heard one time, everybody sells 4 houses, their friends, their parents, their uncle or aunt or something. But then beyond that, you've got to have some sort of funnel or network or something.
To be able to manage it.
Absolutely. Well, Marissa, what do you think about leads and paying for leads? What's your opinion of that?
Leads. So I love lead generation. So that's just like there's 1,000 ways to do it, right? And it's just kind of what way energetically matches the agent. So my personal favorite lead generation, I call it like accidental lead generation, meaning just who are you? Where do you go all day? Is it gym? Is it church? Is it the gas station? Is it the park? And just kind of, is it, out at networking events? So I just say, like, if you are in alignment with the people that you want to be working with, you can do what I call accidental lead generation, and they're just kind of coming to you. I think Keller likes to call it sphere of influence, so if you want to think of it that way. Paying for leads, I feel the same way. Paying for leads, FSBOs, open houses, door knocking, whatever it is, if it works for you, do it. And what I would say there, give it a really solid kind of like 90 days of concentrated effort, really working any particular lead source. And if it works for you, keep doing more of it. If it doesn't work, cut it and do something else. So if it's paid, do it.
Awesome. And I liked what you said. It kind of has to match or it's probably going to flow a lot easier if it matches your personality or an interest that you have. If you like to do stained glass, which I'm getting into.
You're like soldering everything.
Yeah. Get into a group that does that, because you've got that in common. And, out of a group of 30 people, somebody's probably going to be buying a house in a year.
Yes. What do they say? Like, for every one person, they know 4 people thinking about buying or selling real estate.
Awesome. Well, Marissa, can I put you on the spot?
Yes.
This wasn't on the script. What I've done with everybody that I've interviewed, I kind of put them on the spot to give me your best, call to a FSBO, or, like I'll role play.
Yep.
What I'd love to do, if it's okay with you, because I don't want to have the same exact
sure.
FSBO, or how about a door knocking?
Door knocking.
I'll open the door.
Okay.
And I'll play. Is that okay to do that?
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so can I set the stage before we do our role play?
Sure.
That's also part of it. So for me, before you even go into the field and start doing your lead generation, there's steps to take ahead. So like door knocking, you need to get your mindset right, meaning like when you knock that door, you literally have 3 seconds to get their attention before they're just over what you have to say.
Yeah, I bought that magazine subscription.
Yep. So it's like, I like the affirmation, I'm a local realtor who specializes in your neighborhood. So I like to have the agent say that one like 12 times. Then I like to know all the stats of the neighborhood, because I call it having a discussion property. Okay. So like average days on market, price per foot, all the good info about the neighborhood. So it's like having that reason you're going door knocking first.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Because you don't just like show up in a neighborhood and you go, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You have to have all the prep. It's okay.
All right, knock on the door. Hello? Oh, no, that would be hi.
Well, okay, because some people are relational and some people are non-relational. So that like, hey, that's non-relational. What are you doing here?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Hi, are you the Amazon?
Do you have my package?
Yes.
You don't go.
All right.
Okay. So knock.
I open the door. Hi. Can I help you?
Yeah, hi, I'm Marissa, and I'd love to help you get the cash out of your home.
Well, we've thought about it, but I still got a kid in high school right now. But after they graduate, because we want to stay in the same school district, we've thought about it because I don't know if I need to heat and cool all this square footage.
Right, yeah, I hear that a lot, so thank you for sharing that with me. Um, what I would say is, when's the last time you've had a real estate agent do a value of your property and go through cost to sell and the whole process so you can be thinking about it?
I don't think I've ever had it officially done. I get stuff in the mailbox all the time. What do they call that? A market analysis or something, or they can do one. I get little cards in the mail.
Telling you to do one.
Yeah, I've never done one officially.
Well, how about this? Do you have time on Saturday at 2 or Monday around 6 o'clock that I can come by and show you the value, the process, and cost to sell so you can think about it?
Well, I would definitely have to get my wife involved in that because, every time I do something big without her, it gets me in trouble. So
Yes, you definitely want.
I think it's $100 or less. I'm allowed to make a decision by myself. But other than that,
I can teach you how to negotiate a better deal with that.
yeah, I've gotten in trouble in the past. If it's above that, or can I check with her to see if she's available?
Yeah, do you want to give her a call real quick so I can get you in my schedule?
Sure. Meg, can we? All right. So she says Saturday afternoon, 2 or 3. Could you do that?
Fantastic. Yeah. Can I grab your email really quick so I can send you a calendar invite?
Sure. It's homeinspectioncarolina@yahoo.com. Probably can get a new email. Yahoo.
Yahoo. At least it's not AOL.
It's hacked like every
other second.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean that's an easy one.
Awesome. And I'm sure you train and coach like different, like if I was a little more hostile or if I went a different direction. And obviously if they're not interested, you don't push it. But I'm sure you have like kind of if they go this.
Well, so the reason why to just like kind of just go for it, right, is because not everyone's going to answer the door. So you need to get to the point when somebody actually does open the door, and just going for it. Like that's what's called a pattern interrupting statement. So you're kind of bringing their guard down and they're like, wait, what? You're going to get the cash out of my house? Are you a lender? Are you a realtor? Like, what is this?
Yeah, it was kind of quick. You surprised me a little bit. Like right away, like I'm going to help you get.
That's the point.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I wasn't expecting that, but it did make me antsy. I'm like, yeah, you're right. My normal defenses were kind of interrupted, or it's like you kind of got me thinking. I don't know. It wasn't what I expected. I guess that was.
And that's the point of it. And then it's like, of course, not everybody's going to just like agree to an appointment. So you want to have like different. I call it like 3 different paths. So it's like, can you get the appointment on the spot? Can you just send them, market stats and then keep them on your door knocking list? So I just have. They're objection handlers too. So that's all that part of that prep work before you get out into the field.
I wish we had more time. I'd love to do some more.
Hello, I'm Bill Gallagher with Superior School of Real Estate, and I'm here with Preston Sandlin of Home Inspection Carolina. Preston, I've always liked your style, especially those pants. And also, I've been interested in the home inspection business for a long time.
Well, Bill, that's ironic. I've always admired your style, and I've always admired your ability to educate these fine folks for sometimes 4-8 hours a day. I wish that I could do what you do.
Hey, Preston, wouldn't it be cool if we switched? Preston, we sure got what we wished for, buddy.
We sure did. And now that you're the expert, Bill, you are wearing the pants, and I'm the instructor and the educator. Tell us what Home Inspection Carolina is doing these days to make the home buying process easier for realtors and home buyers.
Well, Preston, all our home inspection reports now are online for the real estate agent and the client to review the report online and to be able to create a repair list basically online by either clicking repair, accept, monetary compensation, and once they prepare the request, they can then press email, text, or print right then.
You mean it's all automated, Bill?
Absolutely, we are high tech.
Wow. What else is Home Inspection Carolina doing different these days?
Well, Preston, we're training our home inspectors to be non-alarmist. We are training them to put things into perspective and to simplify the message for the hopeful homeowner.
Non-alarmist is key, Bill. You remember those days of the 100-page reports and those 3-ring binders that would just go on and on and on, la 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 la. Thank you for being a good non-alarmist.
And Preston, one more thing. We fix the small stuff for free. Do you remember when home inspectors always put those little nitpicky items on those reports?
Oh, bless their hearts.
Well, at Home Inspection Carolina, if we can fix it in 5 minutes or less, we do it for free. We're better with a caulk gun than a keyboard any day. We just fix it.
You mean there's no cost for this, Bill?
Preston, it's free.
Wow.
Well, Preston, these pants really are a catch.
Well, Bill, I've enjoyed wearing the suit, but I don't think I could wear it every day because I got to fix the small stuff for free, and I don't want to ruin a good suit.
Preston, it's been a lot of fun flipping the switch.
All right, give me your FISBO and give me your, but I know you got stuff to do and you got a couple more questions, but sometimes when I see you, I'm like, all right, give me your best.
Yeah, we can role play.
Yeah. Well, before you went with the door knocking, I was going to give you the, my mental, what I thought I would do is give you the, the old, all right, I like what you got to say. I'm going to list my house, but why should I pay you 3%? I mean, that seems like a lot to me. Why? Let's say my house is $400,000. Why should I pay you $12,000? Is my math's right?
I love, so like easiest one for me for that, I'll give you this real quick, is if I can show you with my professional fee included that I can net you what you want from the sale of your home, will you consider listing with me? And also I'll take on all the phone calls, all the showings, all the questions.
Awesome. Well, and me personally, I think it's worth every bit, but
but it's one of those things, right? It's just like, statistically it's going to come up a third of the time, so you better have an answer.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is, it's like, I mean, this may not be the best comparison, but if I have to go to court for something, I mean, I don't know that landscape and I don't know the little procedures and stuff. I need to get somebody who does.
Yep.
I mean, and it's the same thing with this. There's so many little things that you need to get somebody who deals with this every day and knows where the pitfalls are and whatnot.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, Marissa, what's the best real estate advice you've ever gotten?
Best real estate. Well, so from the investment background, I love real estate is the get rich slow scheme.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people lose patience. So it's kind of that reminder of like, slow and steady wins the race with investing. And then another private equity guy that I work with, we were out looking for off-market commercial property. And he told me that if you get an interested seller, no matter what their price is, always get like an option contract on it. So if they're like, okay, Marissa, I'll sell it to you for $950,000, and I think today it's worth like $825, he's like, get that in writing as an option. He's like, because if it's in an area that you've predicted will grow, he's like, you'll catch up to that price really quickly. So you want to secure them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to mirror what you said. I had some rental houses. Mm-hmm. And oh my gosh, there were times, I mean, like, there'd be a year where like I had to put a roof on this house, had to paint. I mean, I temporarily lost money, like my cash flow was negative. Like, why am I doing this? I'm getting beat up. There's some things rich dad, poor dad didn't tell me about. But now, I mean, I've owned some of these properties 15 years. Oh my gosh, you would not believe what they're worth.
Yeah, so it's the equity, the cash flow.
Yeah, but there were
probably like $5,
Yeah. Well, the thing that stinks about it though is I look at what it's worth, and if I add it up, I'm like, wow, man, I'm worth that. But then I start thinking, I'm like, I can't just sell it and take that money. I got to pay taxes on after tax.
Mm-hmm.
You could do a 1031 exchange or something, but
Well, and then I also think too, it's like, why sell cash flowing real estate? Because then you're just going to have a tax issue. I mean, you could do a 1031, but you're still going to have, you have tax issues somehow, somewhere. And then it's like, then you have to reinvest the money.
Yeah. Curious question about that. Now, I don't know if you would know this, but like you said, if you held on to it forever, I guess, let's say that, you died and it went to your kids or whatever. Mm-hmm. I guess they still have the same basis you have in it, don't they? Like if they sold.
Should, but it's like the laws on that change periodically, so.
Yeah, I don't know. And I didn't mean to put you on.
Good estate attorney is somebody you want in your pocket.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you come across a lot of agents, obviously. And I know you've been with Keller, you're Costello now, and you have your own. You've been around some that's been successful, that done really well, and some. This is a tough business. I mean, a lot of people watch that. What do you think? I mean, there's a lot, but what do you think is like the main ingredients versus somebody who washes out? What is it that the people who do well seem to have?
Yeah, so it's interesting, right? Because at this point, I love new agent coaching, so I do a lot of that, and it's at this point I think I've coached about 25 agents to making 100,000 or more within 18 months or less. So it's like I've watched kind of some patterns that they've got there, and I will really say it kind of boils down to the work works.
Yeah.
So it's not getting tripped up in their head. So it wouldn't be like, let's talk about door knocking and I want to sit and think about it and prep my flyer for 3 weeks, and then I need to practice my script for another 3 weeks. It's like they go out into the field, and they also do what I call feeling the feelings. I'm like, just go out, do the work, and get the real life kind of objections, wins, whatever that may be. So getting out and doing the work and not getting distracted with building a website that, it's like your mom and your Aunt Diane are like, oh yeah, great job, you look really pretty. And it's like,
I always count on them.
3 months and didn't do any deals or make any, so it's the ones that figure out which lead generation works for them. So that would be number one. And then number two is the work works.
Yeah.
So figure out which, and not like 1,000 lead generation they need as new agents. It's 2. Like they need probably sphere of influence would always be number 1, and then a second one. And the ones that can figure that out quickly are the ones that make it.
Awesome. Can I add something? Even though
Yep.
I think this is just business.
Yeah, do it.
Thick skin. You got to put on thick, and I don't have thick skin. I mean, I just have to remember that, because you're going to get some doors slammed in your face, and when you do calling, you're going to get some. You just can't take it personally, and the same thing in my business. I'm calling on real estate agents all the time, and sometimes I'm like, why don't they like me? I've tried so hard. Well, you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. I finally, figured that out.
Well, yeah, and it's that old, you remember that know you, like you, trust you? So it's like, in order for somebody to work with you, they have to know you, like you, trust you. So it's like, if any one of those 3 things is missing, you have a problem.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm going to keep helping, and I'm going to keep being nice. And keep stalking. I mean, sooner or later, you're going to like, no, I'm just kidding.
Follow up, touch base, we'll call it that, not stalking.
Well, I hired a person one time that I didn't initially meet, but they kept following up. And they were nice about it, though. They weren't obnoxious. Yeah. And finally, I was like, if they just keep following up like this, then I've got to admire them,
The tenacity of it.
Yeah, and I think also if you're trying to, buy or sell somebody's house, I mean, I would have to think that, if you see how much they follow up, that's a person I want working for me to sell my house.
People appreciate that, right? Because they want to see how you're going to work for them before you work for them.
Absolutely. And I think you can use that too, in that, if they ever try to get you down on your commission, it's like, if I came down on my commission like that, do you really want me to argue? Am I going to get you the highest? If I came out for my price that quickly, am I going to fight for your?
I will say too, like, all agents have discounted commission for some reason along their career path, or they just haven't been in the business long enough. So the ones that want to like beat on their chest, I'm like, come on, that's, there are cases and points where it happens.
Yeah.
Obviously don't lead with that. There are,
an $8 million
100% of nothing is still nothing. So figure it out.
Yeah. Well, $8 million house. I think I can.
Yep.
a little bit.
Okay.
Exactly. Well, what is the switching gears a little bit? What's the wildest or craziest? And I got to keep it G-rated for my things. What's the wildest, craziest real estate story that either happened to you or one of your students or?
There's so many, but I'll give you like, so I had one agent show the wrong property twice, like scheduled it on MLS and took her clients back to the wrong house twice.
I picked the wrong house once, but go ahead.
Yeah, I'll say her name because she won't mind. Dawn Fink had she was at a listing presentation and the guy was sitting on the couch and he pulls out a bottle and just pees into it sitting on the couch.
What?
Like that one.
Was there something wrong with him or something?
I think he just had like prostate issues or something, but I was like, oh man. And I don't know, like I've gotten like when we were doing a lot of the investment stuff in the like right after the recession, I think I got chased by like 3 dogs, went into like a couple meth properties, you can smell ammonia. There's just like all kinds of craziness with the investment stuff. And then what's that?
I expected one for you because one of my crazy stories is related to you.
What is it? Tell me.
Well, not crazy, but I remember I expected one of those investment properties. I don't think y'all had bought it yet, but I went under there and underneath the crawl space, and I noticed like something's missing. It took me a second, and then I like crawled up to the bathroom. They had snipped all the copper.
Yes.
The supply lines. They basically had stripped, copper thieves had hit it, and they had basically stripped. I mean, thank goodness the water was turned off.
Yes. But, that was a huge problem for like 2 years. Do you remember that? Because copper prices went up, and so people were snipping, and even we had to start caging the AC units because there's like maybe $100 worth of copper, and so if they snip it, now you're like out like $4,000 for a AC unit. It's like, ugh. We almost were like, can we just tape $100 bills to the AC units and be like, can call me and I'll give you $100?
Yeah,
please don't rip this apart.
To replace that air conditioner, and you did all that for $100 bucks. You know what used to make me mad about that? I don't want to hijack your interview, but what makes me mad about that? There's only a few places that buy scrap metal, so they've got to know. No, when somebody keeps coming in here with torn up air conditioners and copper, I mean, they've got to know
I know.
It's nefarious.
Where else to get it from? But yeah, but on the luxury end of things, so doing luxury sales, I think I've had, and this one people don't like, it doesn't kind of compute. I've had a $2 million cash buyer call me off of a sign, and I've had another about $2.5 million buyer just walk in unrepresented into my open houses. So that's my other message to agents, because I get a lot of like, how do you break into luxury type questions, and it's put yourself in the path of people that can buy those properties.
Wow.
And then yes, a lot of them don't have representation, and that was a surprise to me too.
Yeah, and for everybody who thinks open houses don't work.
Well, it goes back to like, do open houses work for you? Like, is it a good energetic match?
Yeah, no, I like it. And, and you can also, I think open houses are great, and nothing beats just being there and being able to show it. But, virtual open houses too now with this COVID.
Those have been pretty cool.
Yeah. It has forced us all to get better technology.
Well, you got your cool Top Gun background. I bet you wouldn't have
I'm just hoping that go out because my dirty laundry was like, what's really in the background?
Like it.
I know I was doing a couple of interviews and it just conked out at the middle of the interview. Well, Marissa, if you woke up in a brand new world tomorrow, you still had all of your, resources, your room and board taken care of, all that taken care of, but you were just in a brand new place where nobody knew you, and you had, let's say, $5,000 to go market or to generate something, and all your education, you still have all that.
Yep.
What would you do? Basically, what's your best return if all you guys?
I would do exactly what I did when I moved to Charlotte, which was And I think Greg Kunkelman is who introduced us. So I knew one person in town and I was like, hey, can you introduce me to people who you think are good for me to know? You were one of those people. So I literally my first year, I would have like 2 or 3 coffee meetings every day. I'd have a couple lunches and a couple drinks or dinner just to like reestablish and build that network of people. So I would be taking people out, figuring out who's doing what and who's a good fit to work with.
Awesome. Yeah, that I was trying to think of some of the other questions. I was trying to get this song queued up for you. Finish these song lyrics. I'll get that while you answer.
Do you want to do Top Gun movie quotes?
Yeah. Are you into Top Gun? What trivia question? What was Top Gun's partner's
name?
Goose. Oh, well, that was good.
Come on.
All right. Can you finish these song lyrics? I picked it out specifically for you.
Okay.
Ready? Hopefully you can hear it. Can you hear it?
Mama's in the papa. California dreaming.
There you go. Obviously, I mean, you're from California.
I love it.
I had to give you that. All right,
that was an easy one. Thank you.
All right, let's play a game. This or that.
Okay.
Let's go Mac or PC.
Mac.
Serena or Venus.
Serena.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High or Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
When you sleep, fan off or fan on.
Ooh, fan off. But my wife likes fan on, so that's a debate.
Yeah, all right, in the car then. Are you guys equal or is one person always hot and one person always cold?
Oh, yeah, I'm always cold.
Yeah, with Meg and I, it's reversed over the years. I used to always be hot and she was always cold. Now it's reversed. I mean, it's a constant fight over
over the temperature.
Yeah, I tell her, and like if we had dual controls, we'd probably spawn a tornado or something in the middle of the car, hot and cold.
Create a massive weather event.
Yeah, they start chasing each other around or something. Beach or mountains?
Ooh, both, but probably beach over mountains.
Okay. Toilet paper, over or under? In other words, mullet or beard?
Over.
Oh yeah, everybody said.
Not even a question.
I know. There is. I met one person.
It was under.
Yeah, and I was like,
no.
Were you loved as a child?
We need to talk about this.
Is there something a little missing? All right, now this one may be a tough one. Gary Keller or Tom Ferry?
Oh, Gary Keller.
Gary Keller. Let me think. Did I say Michael and LeBron? Did I already ask that one? I can't remember.
Michael Jordan or LeBron?
Yeah.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah, you have to go Michael. LeBron's good. Nothing against him. Awesome. Well, Marissa, thank you for your time this morning. I don't want to hold you up too long.
Yeah, thank you. It was great talking to you.
Gold nuggets. What could, if there's an agent out there that wants to get involved in your coaching, and you do some other things for real estate agents too, correct?
Yeah. So if they want, coaching, they can go to marissaboylecoaching.com. If they go to the store, there's online courses. They can join the Facebook group, Marissa Boyle Coaching, try to keep it easy so people can find it. That's where I post where I'm doing live events. And then I also have a bunch of free downloads. So if they go to my website too, they can sort of like buy and hold rental calculator, how to qualify investors, some other good kind of freebies for agents there.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then it's like the investor part of me, right? So I have an investment in a title company, a business called iAgent Offer, where agents in North Carolina can send us their listings to get a cash offer from some of these hedge fund and private equity guys that I know.
Yeah,
the real estate investment piece, right? The actual houses and apartments and whatnot.
Well, I think that's great though, because that gives just your regular agents a weapon against a lot of the iBuyers, kind of the instant offer, so they can offer that too, right? Is that pretty?
Yeah, it does, and then it keeps the seller, the listing agent, in the picture as the fiduciary, and I think that's where you get sideways with some of these other iBuyers, is the sellers are not represented. So we want the sellers represented, and then the agent can advise, accept, counter, reject, and kind of an unemotional process from our end, and gives the agents another tool.
Awesome. So it's marissaboyle.com. Is that?
Yeah, they can go to marissaboyle.com or marissaboylecoaching.com.
And that's 1 R, 2 S's, correct?
1 R, 2 S's.
I'm the worst.
How do I spell my name? What's my name?
Yeah, I'm the worst speller in the world. And can they message you from there, like if they had a question about?
They can do that, or they can marissa@marissaboyle.com is my email.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Marissa, and for all the agents out there listening. Go to marissaboyle.com. I know. How long have we known each other? At least.
Thinking about, because you were like one of the first people I met, so 12 years.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, probably. Yeah, and we've been on the radio together and stuff, but Marissa, this lady's sharp, very, very sharp. Yeah.
So are you.
Good ground, please. Great for advice, but and she doesn't mince words. I mean, just like on that door knocking, you don't have to.
No fluff is what I call it.
Yeah, no filter, but that's what you need.
No fluff.
Exactly. All right, Marissa. Well, I won't hold you up, but thank you so much for your time, and I'm sure we'll see you out at a house. Hopefully, it has coffee.
Yeah. I'll see you soon. Take care.
All right, Marissa. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.
You too.
You've been listening to the Successful Real Estate Broker Podcast with your host, Preston Sandlin. Join us on the next episode, where we'll be talking to a successful agent or vendor about the right things to do and the wrong things you should avoid. Join us on the next episode of the Successful Real Estate Broker Podcast.